Morning, afternoon, evening, you know the drill. What is happening? I hope you guys have had a beautiful start to today. We are going to be cracking into this podcast episode in around 2 minutes. So I hope y'all having a beautiful finish to your weekend, or perhaps it is your Monday morning and you are ready to rock and roll and get stuck into another big week. Super pumped to have you guys here and ready to rock and roll. We're going to start this one in 2 minutes, guys. So if you're coming in to watch this one live, of course, do the thing and let me know in the comments. This is going to be a little bit of a triggering podcast episode, I think. So, yeah, it is. So, good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. I've got a couple of Facebook users here. I need to put up the Restream link again, don't I? So you guys can authorize. I don't know why it happened. I'm coming to you from my very new MacBook Pro Max this morning. So I'm super stoked. It's like the quickest computer that I've ever had. Cost me the kind of cost of a small car, but I tell you what, I'm absolutely pumped about it. It just allows me to create obviously better content and show up more for you guys. So what's going on, guys? How was your weekend? Let me know what's doing. There's 11 of you watching live so far, so make sure you get down in the comments and let me know that you're in here watching this one. We're going to be getting started in 1 minute, team. Hello there, guys. So I can't actually see who this is. So good morning, user. Again, I'm going to have to do the authorization. So who else we got in here? We got Terry Holden, the legend. Good morning, King. That's got to be Nicky Duggan, surely. Nicola, how are you, mate? Lovely to see you back in the gym, Nico. I hope you're doing well, buddy. We're going to get started in 30 seconds, team. Steve Gary Hopley, what's going on, mate? Congratulations, guys. What about Steve? What about Steve? Did you see the post over the weekend? This man has become a bloody inspiration to a lot of people, and him and his beautiful wife are absolutely shredding it inside of BBA. It is so good. Good morning, Jules. It's pouring rain again. Ooh! We're gonna conquer that one, Jules, in this podcast probably. Good morning, Nikki friend. How are you, my legend? Joe's here as always. Claire, good afternoon, rather Sunday for you. Good morning, guys. I hope you're well. I think we're ready to rock and roll now. If you do watch this one on replay, make sure you get down there in the comments and let us know so we can keep this rolling. All right, I'm ready to rock and roll for your Monday morning, for my Sunday afternoon. Let's get stuck into another episode of the podcast. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast. Now, this is the podcast that you come to when you're sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. Today, we're going to be dealing with quite a triggering topic. And I would love, as I always say, I would love for you guys to get involved in the comments. And as we're having this discussion, let's make it a little bit kind of circular, okay? I want to know what your thoughts are about this topic, what your experience is about this topic. The topic being when friends become frenemies. I think we all know what that actually means, when friends become frenemies. I'm doing this episode for two people, a guy and a girl inside of Better Body Academy that really need this at the moment. Struggling with feeling a little bit of self-sabotage, people in their life dragging them down, and as I always do, try to create content around stuff that's relevant to you guys as it stands. So what is friends becoming frenemies? What does that actually mean? So you turn up to a barbecue and you start getting told you're too skinny, or you looked better fat. That's my favorite one. You looked better fat. Or what about you post something on social media and some guy or girl that you were friends with loosely jumps into the comments and posts something negative or questioning of what you're doing. Or worse, someone you thought was a friend and who supported you started saying shit to you like, yeah, I bet you're going to put it all back on again though. I bet you're going to put it all back on again. Oh yeah, you've done this before. Just remember, man, that you're not a gym guy or girl. I've seen all this before. I know how it works. You guys know what I mean by friends becoming frenemies? A frenemy is someone who supported you at the start of whatever it was that you're doing. Maybe they were one of your loudest supporters. And then what happened is they got to a time when, due to your results, in whatever it is that you're transforming, health, wealth, relationships, whatever it is, your results started to become beyond their comprehension. So instead of supporting you and asking you, wow, how did the hell do you do what you do? Instead, they turn on you. This happened to me a lot as a fitness coach as I was growing my mission, starting to talk to people, out in the world. And look, at the start, to be honest, you feel a little bit of imposter syndrome coming in. And so what would happen was when someone got in the comments of my videos and kind of said, oh, that's wrong, or what do you know, or whatever they wanted to slate me with, at the start, I felt like I had to justify it, right? I felt like I had to explain myself. I felt like I had to defend myself. When I started this mission of ours, I had a really simple set of values that I believed in. These values were: one-on-one personal training sucks because you're on your own most of the time. Paying to get your ass kicked never works. What we should be doing instead is teaching people what works, educating them so you can free them. And the third thing is community is everything. Community is absolutely everything. And so when I started posting content around this stuff and people would criticize me, I stopped posting. I stopped showing up for myself. I started questioning my methods. I started undermining myself. Now, I want to get a show of hands in the comments. How many of you have been through a time, either in improvement in other areas like career, for example, or in your health transformation, your weight loss transformation? You've had people getting into your grill telling you, oh, you looked better when you were fat. Oh, you're losing too much weight. Oh, you look like you're sick. They are imparting their ideas onto you. Let me know in the comments, guys. I really want to know if I'm on my own here, because I definitely know that I'm not. So my first question is, why is it that people do this? Why is it that people do this? We've got a show. Joe says, absolutely, yep. Why does it people do this? Amelia says yes, and Amelia is in a position where she's out with the general public running events, so I can imagine that would be quite triggering for her, because she has to put on a what's the word? Not a facade, but a business face, and then all of a sudden people want to chip her for something personal, which, if that isn't dealt with in the right way, is going to cross over into your business life. Correct or not, Amelia? Nick Friend says absolutely, and Nick, your results are ridiculous. My simple answer is, why do people do this? Well, we all look at the world through a set of lenses or glasses. I just want you to imagine every single person on the planet is walking around with a set of glasses. And because we are wearing the glasses, we believe that those glasses are real, the only glasses that exist. So when we see something, we interpret it from our own life experience, because we're looking at that through our lenses. Guys, if you wear glasses, what you will know is that there's different, I don't know what the strengths, let's say, and how much your strength is different to another person's. And if you put on someone else's glasses, it feels like you're wearing Coke bottles, right? But as soon as you slip on your exact prescription, it's like, oh, and it amplifies your world and everything's clear for you. And so when someone looks at our life through their glasses, they're imagining our life through their own interpretation or our own life experience. And we do the same thing. I want you to imagine, for example, you are, Kev Grant or Nick Friend or Travis or Steve Hopley, whose life has completely shifted and changed. Or what about someone like, Christy Keenan, Jordana Bruce, Kiara Barnett, who's deadlifting fucking like strong as an ox, Amelia, Amy, these people are shifting their life. How would their friends be able to possibly look at their life, which has changed, through their old set of lens? How does someone who knew you before your transformation look at what you're doing and fully comprehend it when they have stayed the same? And short answer is, they can't. And this is the problem. Inability to shift our belief system is what keeps us stuck. And that is true of us as well. Inability to shift our belief system is what kept us stuck for so long and it is what will stop us from going to the next level. They, your frenemies, have self-limiting beliefs, as we all do, about what we're capable of, right? And they are assessing your achievements with the beliefs that they have about themselves. So rather than getting heavily invested in you and interested in how you are getting the results and reaching out to you and getting excited about modeling what you do, instead, we operate by the mechanism called crabs in a bucket. Does everyone know what this analogy is? The crabs in the bucket? You got a bunch of crabs in a bucket and they're all climbing over each other to try to get to the top, and one or two crabs breaks free and starts to pull itself out of the hole. And as opposed to the other crabs trying to lift themselves up and model and do the same, what do? They try to pull the other crabs back down into the bucket. And this is how so many people in the world operate. You know the very most difficult situation? And this might be hard for a lot of people, because I know that a lot of people are going through this right now. And that is when your own partner starts to sabotage your progress with their words and actions. That is the very most difficult thing to have to deal with. You know, the longer I live personally, the more I realized how one of the single most important decisions that you can possibly make is who you're going to choose to spend your life with. It is tough because it's going to determine a lot of what you do. If you enter into a relationship with this person and you trust this person, then you're effectively saying your core values align with this person. And for a lot of people, I think what happens is 2 years, 20 years into the journey together, there is a divergence of core values. And that becomes really, really difficult. So what do we do about these friends that become frenemies? I want to start with a theme that I think it's important for us to understand. And this theme has helped me deal with the haters and move on from my own personal self-sabotage. Okay? This is something that I learned from one of my coaches, Brian. And if you get triggered by people commenting on your life, this has everything to do with you and nothing to do with them. I'm going to say that again. If you get triggered by people commenting on your life, this has everything to do with you and nothing to do with them. Let me explain a bit. We have to be responsible for how we react to certain circumstances. People have no control over the way that you respond or react to your emotions. Does this make sense? That's you. You've got to own that. If you are going to go about improving your life, I can tell you, friends, not all of them, of course, hopefully few of them, friends will become frenemies. That will happen. And you need to be aware of it at the start so that when it happens, you don't self-sabotage as a result because you reacted to something that was actually really predictable. If that triggers you in any way, here's the fact. Some part of you, if you were reacting to people commenting on your life, your achievements, your worth, if part of you was really reactive to that, at some level, some part of you believes that this is partly true. So, to give you some examples, if someone says to you, yes, but you've fucking done this before, right? You know you're going to put the weight back on. And at a surface level, you feel like, no, I won't. What are you talking about? Fuck off. But then deep inside, you feel really triggered by that. That's likely because some part of you on a deeper level believes that there is truth to that. Or let's say that you come into a sum of money. Or let's say that you get into a relationship which is going really well and super high quality and deep and it's burning beautifully. and then someone says to you, you don't deserve that, either money or the depth of relationship. He or she is better than you, or you'll probably lose it all. You got that money luckily. If you are triggered by that, some part of you believes that their criticisms are actually true on some level. Otherwise, it would be water off a duck's back. And if you have the self-awareness to see this, to understand what I've talked about here, then you know what the next step should be. What should the next step be? If you realize the truth of this, what should the next step be? Of course, working to overcome the self-limiting beliefs that you have about yourself until you are no longer triggered by what people who you would not swap lives with have to say about your life. You wouldn't be triggered by it anymore. Here's 2 questions to ponder for a moment. Number 1, do you truly love yourself? Do you truly love yourself? I don't mean from an egotistical perspective. I mean from a deep, respectful sense of self-love. Do you love yourself? I asked this question to our recent mastermind guys, and I was pretty shocked with some of the answers. Do you love yourself? The second question is, where are the areas that you think that you are weak in? Do you love yourself? Where are the areas that you think you're weak in? Because if you think about it, they are the chinks in your armor. They are where the criticisms are going to get into you as a result. If you feel like you've got weaknesses or an overall not full love for yourself, that's what's going to happen. In the gym, if you have a lagging body part, what do? You focus on it, right? That's what you do to improve it. You don't get results by avoiding it. Let's just say that you've got terrible leg strength. Then not working your legs is a terrible strategy to improve your leg development. When it comes to self-love and mental fitness, there is work that needs to be done to improve you, your resolve, your self-confidence, in order to develop a bulletproof mindset so that those criticisms that you get off people eventually just become water off a duck's back. The first step is being able to become aware of it, guys. Next, what do we do after we become aware of it? After we become aware that there are people here and the reason why is because they're looking at our achievements through their lens and they're throwing shit at us, what do we do after we become aware of it and we understand that if we're triggered in any way, then what we need to do is work on that on ourselves? Number 2, next, we need to cleanse our crowd. We really badly need to cleanse our crowd. This is such a difficult topic to talk about. Why is it that we continue to hang out with negative people who are giving us shit? Why do we do that? Like, what are we hanging on to? I want to have a chat about friendship. Is friendship not a 2-way reciprocal value relationship? Is that not how it works? It was the birthday of one of my great clients, Nick Duggan, through last week. And I put a post on how he's gone from being a client to a friend. Because in the client relationship, for the most part, it was a 1-way transaction. In a friendship, it's a 2-way transaction. There is reciprocal benefits for both people turning up to that friendship. So if one of you or both of you, and of course this includes your partnership, are no longer reciprocating or supporting each other's interest, why dedicate any more time to that situation? The truth of it is, if you're going to move forward, you're going to need to leave some people behind, and that's a really, really difficult thing to do. And unfortunately, this may include people who you've shared memories of, with in the past, but which no longer support you. And man, some of you, if you realize that this is your partner, this is layered in so much difficulty. It's really difficult conversation to have. Here's one thing that I know. Every time I go home, my real friends, not my frenemies, my real friends go out of their way to come and see me, and I do the same thing for them. And when I am with them, the first thing that they want to do is ask me about my life so that they can celebrate my life with me, and vice versa. I'm trying to cut the conversation off because I want to know about their life so I can celebrate their success with them. That's what friendship's about. Friendships don't undermine each other's progress. They support each other's progress. And like you, I am time poor. And I've got to the point where I'm not willing anymore to sit in the company of relationships which no longer serve me and which I no longer serve. Again, it's a very difficult conversation to have. Regarding the haters, look, if you are on someone's mind enough for them to criticize you, use that as leverage. This is the way that I use it. If they are worried about me instead of worrying about themselves, that must mean that I'm doing something right. I need to double down then on what I'm doing. Now, the same is true of you. If someone is giving you shit about your transformation, telling you that that you're getting too skinny, or oh, you looked better, you were more fun. That's the one that grinds me. You were more fun when you come out and got drunk every night. And by the way, I've got Warren Todd. I'm going to highlight this comment. Cleansing was a key ingredient for my change. Yes, I love that you publicly said that was. And so this is the thing. If there are people in your environment that are criticizing you, use that as leverage. Use that as inspiration and motivation. Don't get wrapped up in it. If you work quietly and diligently on yourself, knowing that you're leveling up, this will bring a sense of achievement and happiness and will put to rest the doubts that this person is putting into your mind. If you don't do this, if you don't cleanse your relationships, your community, if you don't do this, here's what will happen. You will be stripped of energy. You will be stripped of energy. You will do what a lot of people do, is go out and put on a facade to fit in like a chameleon with the crowd that you're trying to be like, instead of being your genuine self. And putting on that facade, guess what that's going to do? It's going to mean that you're going to go home from that situation and feel stripped of your energy, so freaking tired, and just want to go to sleep or drink or do something to not feel that feeling anymore. Does this make sense? If you can be yourself around your friends, you feel invigorated. You feel like, I want to do that again. And it reinforces whatever your mission is to the world or to your kids. And here's the really important point. If you continue to hang out with people who are negative, I want you to think what that's saying about your self-worth. Guys, I really want this point to hit hard. If you continue to hang out with people who are negative, I want you to think about what this is saying about your self-worth. I'm hanging out with people that I don't actually really want to hang out with, but I'm doing it because I'm scared to be lonely. So I'm going to take the company of people that detract from me as opposed to being on my own. Does this slaps me in the face. I'm going to read out this long comment by Steve. My experience is that we need to lose the haters. I don't have to socialize at the pub. I socialize at the gym instead. When you become a transformed man and a better dad, your mates can feel guilty because they see in you what they know they should be doing. My wife left her training group to join BBA because she saw the depth of the academy. And this is it. This is it. If you continue to hang around with people that are detracting from you, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will continue to self-sabotage your results because you don't believe that you deserve more in your life. Have a difficult conversation. If this person who's entering frenemy zone is bordering on frenemy zone and they mean a lot to you, you don't need to chop them out without warning. You need to have, or be willing to have, a conversation with the person, an open conversation, an honest conversation to tell them how you feel. Not for them to validate you, but for you to bring them up to speed with how you're feeling, and for them to have the option of whether they want to acknowledge or become aware of the negativity that is no longer tolerable to you. Often the person doesn't realize that they're actually doing it, and they'll be shaken up by it and they'll be like, fuck, like, you're right. But for those that don't, this will be because their circumstances are theirs, not yours, and they're looking at your life through their lens. And until they're willing to change their lens, then you're fighting an uphill battle. Look, the moment you become untethered, guys, I want you to, for those of you that are inside Better Body Academy, I want you to step back on last week and have a look at the academy. Have a look at it right now. We've got men coming in, women coming in every morning and giving us a posture pose, a power pose. We've got it happening every morning with an affirmation and a statement. Where else do you do that? You don't. You would never do that on your public profile. Why? Because you would be scared of judgment. You would be scared that people think you are so far up yourself. Our community has become a place that you can be safe to be able to do your thing, to be able to speak into existence the thoughts that you've had for a long period of time about, why can my life not be so much more? Why can I not experience more? I'm not talking about necessarily the getting of material things. I'm talking about you live in a life which, when you stand in front of your maker, whoever you think that is, and you look back, they don't say to you, Steve, you could have been so much more. You could have experienced more. Instead, they look at the paper that they had lined up for your life, and they look at you and they say, I don't think this is you, man. You've got the wrong person. I'm looking for Steve Hopley. That wasn't meant to achieve. I'm fucking Steve Hopley. I didn't care what you had in time for me, in place for me, in plan for me. I wanted to level up because I realized that my life was an expression. I realized that I am untethered. I'm not going to say that I can do anything in the world, but I can do anything that I am passionate about. And if that's creating a life for myself and my kids, and that's it, my closed circle, that gives them a tremendous life experience, well, then that is what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to be stripped away from people who want to criticize me because of their own limiting self-beliefs. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. I really do hope that you can share this episode, because I think this one will probably hit a lot of people, and particularly people who are outside of our community and listen to this and think, you know what, I need to shake up. Guys, this has been the Better Body Academy podcast, the podcast that you come to for the dumb diets. Nope, we don't do them here. We don't do unsustainable workout programs. I will see you in the next episode. Have a beautiful week.